Welcome. Welcome once again. This is the Diana Wright Show live, and we begin right now. Just want to remind you though, before we start, don't forget the words for this week: hope and love. And don't forget that there are three emotions that we think about. Three things that we need to think about. We need to think about hope. We need to think about faith, and we need to think about love at all times. We need to engage ourselves in those three emotions or feelings or thoughts. But the most powerful of them is love, because everyone seeks love, wants love, needs love, will do lots of crazy things for love. And that's the reason I do believe that you should begin with the place that it should start, and that is loving yourself. So I Love Me is the crusade of this show, the Diana Wright Show Live. We welcome you from around the world and in the United States, and our hope is, our dream is that we can get each and every one of you to love yourself. It doesn't cost anything. We're not selling you anything. Well, if you go to my website, you can buy the t-shirt that says I Love Me. But basically, this is something I want and hope for you, and have faith that you will achieve it. Because come April 30th, I have declared it International I Love Me Day. That's April 30th. And we would like to ask each and every one of you, if it's one person that's watching, two people, whatever, send it to all your friends on Facebook. Love us on Facebook. Not like, love. Because I only deal with love. I'm not into the like business. So I would like you to tell your friends, your co-workers, your family members, and don't forget to teach your children to love themselves. Constantly remind them that they need to be no one else but who they are, and they are wonderfully made by God. So as we take this journey together, where I try to inspire you, inform you, motivate you, and give you hope and faith, and try to get you to get to a place where you are number one, and you should be number one. That is not too much to ask. I just want you to spread the word and get it out there, so people can know it is so simple. It costs nothing to get up in the morning and look in that mirror and say, I love me. And if you're trying to be one of the Joneses right now, take a step back and realize that being one of the Joneses is not the greatest thing. Just be you. Just do you. Just love you. And see how much better your life will be. Just want to remind you, as you join us from around the world and in the United States, that tomorrow morning at 10:30 we will have our special guest, Elder Seaton. He will join us to give us the update of the march that took place in Washington last week, and he will also be talking about a few other issues and how the immigration thing is going, because right now it seems like it's not going. Nobody's saying anything. Well, they have the Gang of 7 or the Gang of 6 or whatever they call themselves that are actually working on it. So we will see what they do. But I would like to hear from Elder Seaton what's really going on. I'm going to ask him a few other things too, like about the gay marriage thing, and because the churches, the evangelists, the right-wingers, they are coming out and they are, Rush Limbaugh is calling it, what does he call it? Bestiality? Ooh, ouch. And oh no, not him. Someone else spoke about that. I think it was Ben Carson, the surgeon, who is indeed a Republican and was on Fox. He was the one referring to it as bestiality. Ouch. And then Rush Limbaugh talked about, should we now say that you can have sex with a child? I'm like, okay, Rush, it doesn't even equate, okay? Because I've never really heard of children homosexuals, or children that are gay. This kind of evolves. Some people say they're born that way. Some people say they get to that place because they were hurt so many times. But most people that I see on television, as a matter of fact, I was just shocked by the news. The young woman on the Today Show on the weekends, I think she is on, she just announced that she's pregnant. And when she said she's pregnant, I'm looking for a husband. And she goes, no, my partner is right here. She works at NBC. We've decided to have a child. And I'm like, okay, is it that everybody's, ugh. Well, anyway, people are entitled to live their lives the way they want to live it. I just want them to love themselves. That's it. I don't care whether you're gay or straight, brown, yellow, pink, blue, immigrant, illegal, whatever you are. I just want you to simply love yourself, because if you love yourself, everything else comes into or falls into place. All right. So I'm not going to take on your personal life and what you do and what you don't do, but loving yourself is crucial to anything else that you're planning to do or that you will pursue. Okay. So that's all we are asking here. So April 30th, International I Love Me Day. I'm just expecting you to do something extra special for yourself that day. Just continue to tell yourself that. Wear the t-shirts with pride, and also teach your children to love themselves. It's crucial, it's important, and that's what you need to do. I have a nice quote that I'd like to read to you. And of course, this is coming from the book, The Power of Positive Habits by Dan Roby. And this one simply says, the best way to help a man grow is to let go of trying to change him in any way. So in order to let you grow, we're not trying to change you. We're just trying to give you tips to make things better for you. So no one is trying to change anyone. No one is trying to say, if you're gay, you need to be straight or whatever. That's your thing. When Jesus comes back to the earth, we all must go to our own judgment day and speak for ourselves. Our mothers won't be able to speak for us. Our fathers, our friends, our sisters, our brothers, our children. We all have to speak for ourselves and let everyone know. Let God know, let Jesus know what we've done that we know is wrong. So I'm not here to try to fix anyone or, because people really don't need fixing. They just need to take gentle persuasion to get to the place that they want to be. And my gentle persuasion is to convince you that most people, when I speak to people, it is always about not loving who they are. Either I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, my nose is too big, my lips are too small, my lips are too big, my eyebrows don't go up enough, my cheekbones aren't high enough, my hair is too thin, my hair is not long enough, I'm too dark skinned. And it just goes on, and everyone seems to be wanting someone else's life or wanting what someone else has. Why can't we just be content with what we have? As my mom reminded me today that, you always say you don't want a big house or a mansion. You just want a beautiful house. Small house it can be, but it must be beautiful. And it must be filled with love. Yes, you're going to have fights and quarrels, but you quash it right there and you step on back into love. Because life is not perfect. And life can be difficult, but life is also beautiful. And it is indeed a wonderful world despite what everyone else is saying. Just imagine yourself living right now in Iraq or Iran or Egypt. Can you imagine yourself living in those places right now? No, I bet not. So enjoy the ride, be content, be humble, and try to live as simple as you can. Take advice from Pope Francis, who we're going to get to in a minute. A story that really kind of got my goat today. How young is too young for Victoria's Secret? They always seem to be pushing that envelope to the edge, and mothers are not allowing them to get a free pass this time. They are mad and they're not taking it anymore. So, the question parents are grappling with after the lingerie retailer debuted a spring break collection. Can you imagine? Spring break collection. I guess that it identifies that they're dealing with college students. But anyway, mothers are taking them on anyway because they're saying that the lingerie retailer debuted a spring break collection with the slogan, "Bright Young Things." Now, why are they talking about women in that vein? Young things. So women have now become young things? Things? Victoria's Secret, are you not lost a screw or something? How do you call women things? It's not cool to do that. And then you say young. Young can mean anything. Young can mean 10. Young can mean 12, 16, 19, 20. What were you thinking? Victoria's Secret, I ask. Simply. I don't know what's going on. Victoria's Secret's owned by Limited Brands says that the collection falls under its pink line, which is targeted at college age women, but they're not things, are they? So that bright young things don't work. But it seems that the word young in the slogan plus items such as panties with "call me," written on the front of the panties. So what are they supposed to do? Go out in the street with their panties and say, "Call me"? We are just going way overboard here. Okay, so it says, "Call me." That's written on the front of the panties. Are all a bit much for parents, and parents are saying, hell, we don't like this. People worried that Victoria's Secret was going after teenagers, tweens, and younger age groups. So, Victoria's Secret, what was your intention? Because when you talk about bright young things, it makes everybody wonder, what was your plan? The resulting uproar caused Victoria's Secret to take to its Facebook page, no doubt, on Monday to explain. Despite recent rumors, this is a quotation from them now, quote, "Despite recent rumors, we have no plans to introduce a collection for younger women. Bright Young Things," I even hate to say it, Bright Young Things, was a slogan used in conjunction with the college spring break tradition. And parents, if you're out there and you're listening, tell your children they're in college, they don't need to be going to those spring break things, because the way they behave at those things and they put it up on Facebook, and when they go to interview for a job or try to start a company or whatever, and someone Googles them or go to their Facebook page, boom, they're going to be shocked and they will not get the job. So you just advise your youngster, male or female, that spring break behavior is not cool. More than 1,300 people commented on that Facebook posting, with some defending the store and saying that parents need to be more vigilant with their children. So, of course, some parents are going to blame the parent for not parenting. But then a young kid cannot go into Victoria's Secret and buy anything without a parent, I would assume anyway, because nowadays these kids are so precocious, you never know. Okay, so one person says, "I don't believe Victoria's Secret would try to market suggestive comments to the young girls. Get real, ladies," she said. Others lectured Victoria's Secret, saying that the company was backpedaling under fire. "It makes me sick to see such crass-like stuff on your Bright Young Things collection. It's tacky." That's written by a man, no doubt. "I don't have a daughter, and sure wouldn't like to see some teens under the age of 18 wearing such tasteless wear." Wow. Oh my goodness. So men are getting in on the action too. He doesn't even have a daughter. And he's Bright Young Things? Are you now saying, Victoria's Secret, that women are things? And I heard a lady today talking about the whole Viagra thing, and it's how many years since Viagra has been out. And she was upset because she said women's problems is not about the penis, because the penis only needs blood to get to it, and it stands. But a woman is driven by desire and her brain. So if she has no desire, her brain will not click into gear to want to make love to her husband or her significant other or whomever else. It's simply the brain. And if a woman lacks desire, her question was, what is it now? Men want to find something to increase women's desire so they can be of service to men? That was her question, not mine. So I wondered about that and gave it great thought. Is that the objective? To, okay, Viagra doesn't work for women, so let me try to find something that works for her to increase her libido so that she can be of service to me. So that's what she was pointing out. I don't know how you feel about that or what you think about that, but that's a big conversation that we need to have, that people need to open up about. Most women seem to be faking their orgasms, as they tell us. And for years we've heard that some women just don't bother. They just lay there and let the guy have his fun. But is that what sex is meant to be? Not so sure. So let's move on here. It says, wow, okay. An open letter to Victoria's Secret about the issue has gone viral on the internet. The letter is penned by Evan Doville, or Dolive, or Dolive. I don't know how he pronounces, but it's Evan Dolive, I think, maybe. It's spelled D-O-L-I-V-E, so I don't know, if it's Dolive or Dolive, like Target and Target. Who says he's an ordained minister and a father of a 3-year-old girl. As a dad, this makes me sick, Dolive said about the Bright Young Things issue of Victoria's Secret. Bright Young Thing. These marketing people that come up with these things, do they think that some words are just offensive or some words are just not right to get into? Wow, it's amazing. Let me remind you as I take a breath here that tomorrow Elder Seaton will be here for the 10 o'clock, 10:30 hour. He'll be here to give us an update on immigration. And then come 8 o'clock, we will have someone that I know that lots of you will have questions for. His name is Attorney Evan Rosen, and he's a real estate attorney, and he has all the goods. There's some new stuff happening in Tallahassee that you need to know about, you need to find out about, and you need to listen keenly tomorrow at 8. I promise you it will be lots and lots of information for you. So if you're in foreclosure, or you just got your foreclosure notice, or your house is on the water, or you have an attorney that is taking care of your foreclosure, we're going to talk about it all. Is the market that they're saying coming back, is it real or is it fake? He will give you the true scoop on it. So that's tomorrow. I want to kind of talk a little bit about stars for a minute. Celebrities, if you want to call it that. It pains my heart to see Dionne Warwick having $1,000 cash in her bank account, and she only has $25,000 in assets. She's broke and she's filing bankruptcy for $10 million that she owes or whatever. And I simply wonder, what do these stars do with their money when they make it? Are they living too high on the hog? Are they renting or buying houses they can't afford? Because don't forget, my brothers and sisters, if you want to live in a mansion, you have to think about the maintenance of that mansion. It's not just about getting the mansion. You have to furnish the mansion. Then you need a house cleaner to clean the mansion. Then you have to get a gardener to maintain the outside of the mansion. It's just on and on and on. That's the reason I say small house, beautiful house, nicely done on the inside. That's it. Because everything you dream of, like some people want to have a yacht. Do you know what it is to maintain a yacht? Some people want to have their own plane. Do you know what it is to maintain your own plane? Lots of people buy those planes and see, they crash. They kill them because they did not maintain the plane properly. Is it that they did not have the money to maintain the plane, or they just didn't think about the maintenance? Some people would like to drive a Bentley. Bentley's okay, it's a beautiful car. I would love to have one, but the maintenance of a Bentley might just be above my pay grade. So we need to, when we want things, or when we think we need things, we need to imagine and make sure we do the research to find out how much will it cost me to maintain the Bentley, to maintain the Rolls Royce, to maintain the plane, the yacht, the mansion. Because we all want things, and things are fine. But do you have the money to maintain it? So what happened to $10 million? If I get $10 million today, I will never be broke in my life again, ever. Not that I've ever been broke. Don't want to be broke. Because as long as you can, maintain your status and eat food and pay your bills, you're really not broke. You may not be able to pay all your bills at all times, and you have issues with some bills, but at least you're surviving. But these people, they make all this money. MC Hammer, remember him? He had all that money and then he was broke. He had nothing. So he tried to make a comeback the other day, but I don't know how well that's going. I wish him well. But I just wonder, what are they buying? Are they just going into the store and buying $20,000 worth of clothing like I see Kim Kardashian doing on her show? And her sister is rebuking her for doing so? I just can't imagine. Is it that nobody, after you get money, you just don't look at the price anymore? You just buy? Well, maybe. But, I think whether you have money or you don't have money, you should always be looking for a bargain, and you should always be looking for the best value for your dollar. I don't care how much money you have. You should not just be going to buy things because you figure, oh, I can afford this. And then you know that you're being ripped off anyway. Just like if you're signing a document, as I keep reminding you, if you're signing a document, you must read the fine print before you put your John Hancock on that document. It's important. A lot of people, they just go, woo, 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 whoops, whoops, and I'm going to sign. No, don't do that. Because most of the times when you do that, when you go back and something happens, whoops, you made a whoops. And here you are stuck with it because you signed the contract. So do me a favor and read all your contracts. Also, if you miss a show of the Diana Wright Show and you'd like to go on and see that show, all you need to do, go on my website, dianawrighttv.webs.com, click on the YouTube icon at the bottom of the page, and there you are. You will see all the shows come up. And you pick whichever one you'd like to see. You don't need to go to YouTube itself to go search. On my website, and all is well. Okay? I just want to make a point to tell the young lady who asked me to get a copy of my step-parents show that I did in Jamaica. We are still working on it. We didn't know that it would take this long for them to do the transfers. But I promise you, as soon as I get it, I will give you a call. Your number is safe with me. So I hope you're watching, and I hope you tell your sister and your family that I am working on it still. They told us 2 weeks, and it's now, months, if you ask me. But anyway, it's not really months, but it just seems that way. We did not anticipate it would have taken this long. But, it's better for them to take the time and do it right than rush it and we don't get it done properly. So don't forget, I haven't forgotten you. So just continue to watch me, and I will be coming through for you very soon. All right? Okay. Another thing is lottery winners. They win the lotto, and then a few years later, they're broke. How can you win 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, even 100 million, and then you're broke? How do you do that? What are you buying in the stores? I would like to know. Seriously. It's just like the cell phone. People are about to whip your car, and when you check it out, they're on their cell phone. And they're not even doing the Bluetooth thing. They're doing the phone holding to your ears. And what? What did they do before there were cell phones? What are they talking about? I'd love to know, what are people talking about on their cell phones? In their car? If you have the Bluetooth, it's not even that bad. But when you're holding the phone to your ear and you're about to hit my car, no, not cool. So people, I'm telling you, you need to get off the cell phone. What are you talking about so much? Can it wait till you get home or till you're at a stop where you at your end of your journey? And if you don't have a Bluetooth, you can get one. Because that is not even so bad. At least you're talking and you're kind of paying attention. Because I think when people are talking on the phone, they kind of get into the conversation and they kind of veer away from the road. So boom, you have to blow them. And when you look in their car, they're either trying to text somebody or they're on their phone. Please stop texting while you're driving. It's not cool. It's not safe. It's disgusting. Okay? Every time someone is about to hit my car, they're either on their cell phone or they're texting. Now, what does that say? We just need to stop. What did we do before cell phones came in? Everybody used to go to work, get home, and talk to your friends on the phone when you get home. Can we do that now? Or talk to them when you get to where you're going? And when I'm in the store, I do not want to hear your conversation. So lower your voice or tell the person you'll call them back. You know, you're in the store and they're having a loud conversation, not even a whisper, loud. So whether you want to hear it or you don't want to hear it, you are bound to listen to their conversation. Anyway, so let's move a little bit now to I'm still on the celebrity vein here now. Portia, that young lady in Atlanta Housewives, who is the granddaughter of Jose, the man that started that whole feeding of the hungry in Atlanta, Georgia, and has done a tremendous job with his charity. She's getting a divorce. And I thought, oh, my daughter came screaming, telling me she saw it online. And I thought to myself, but I thought she was so in love with her husband, and aren't they newlyweds? They just got married. So what happened? I guess she didn't like the way he spoke to her and the fact that he gave her a choice whether you want to have a baby or you want to have your career. And then there's Nene, who got a divorce and is remarrying her husband. Hooray. And then there's Adrienne Maloof from Beverly Hills Housewives. She will no longer be in the show. She has gotten a divorce from Paul. But I knew that was going to happen because when I started watching the show, I kept saying, how can she talk to her husband like that? That marriage ain't going to last. I hope my mouth did not cast a spell, but I just thought she kept insulting the guy. And, you know, if you insult a guy so much and it's going on the air, what do you expect? So, hence, relationship is done and Paul is dating a 27-year-old. Wow. Let's keep on moving, brother. And then there's Taylor on Beverly Hills Housewives. Now, she just aggravates me. She does not, her self-esteem is at the low. She is so insecure. She is wanting to be someone's friend when the person doesn't want to be her friend. What is her problem? And now she's in love with her lawyer. In love with your lawyer, who is not available, by the way. And as Yolanda pointed out, it might just take about 3 years for that to happen. So I guess Taylor have lots of time to wait around and be in love. Let's see how long she is in love. Did she even heal from the suicide of Russell, her husband, who used to basically push her around and beat her up? Ladies, please, when you finish one relationship, please, I beg you, take time to grieve about that relationship. Be sad about it, cry about it, laugh about it. And then, When you give yourself some time, then you even look at dating. Can't you just take a rest? Why is it that every single female believes that if they don't have a man, their life is not complete? Being single is not all that bad, you know. You should enjoy your singleness. And when someone comes, then you appreciate it. But you cannot jump from one relationship without being healed and then going on to the next, because you're taking that baggage with you to the next relationship. And that's kind of sad, don't you think? I just want to remind you of the numbers here. Well, it's actually the number here. 561-228-1921. That's the number if you have a question about the show, if you want to, order tapes or anything like that. We encourage you to call if you'd like to make a suggestion for a show, if you have someone that you would like to recommend to be on the show. Like right now I'm looking for a psychiatrist to come on the show, because I have tons of questions for a psychiatrist or a psychologist, because people are just not happy with who they are. And too many people are depressed and feeling downtrodden and not being happy. Remember the words for this week: hope and love. And this morning I included expectation, because when we pray, we must expect that God will answer our prayers. Look at this morning. I forgot to charge my iPad to have Dax on. It was only 17% when I went on with Dax. And I just prayed and said, God, let this 17% last until the end of the show. And it did. I could have gone another 5 minutes if I wanted to, because I expected God to take care of it. And even though you might think that's a little thing, it's not a little thing, it's a big thing. Because whatever you pray for, you should have faith and expectation. Trust and believe that God will answer your prayer. And don't forget, He does not ever leave any miracle half done, 3/4 done. He will eventually complete the miracle in your life. Take it from me, He will. He's working on you right now. And whatever you do, keep hope. Don't ever give up on your dream, your passion, your children. Because some parents, after their children start giving a little trouble, they give up on them. You can't do that. In everyone, there is a chance that prayer, trust, faith, belief, and hope will work. Okay? Just look at our President Obama. Look at him. He wrote the book, Audacity of Hope. And hope is really crucial. But of course, the biggest emotion for me is love. And it's not just for me. I think it should be for everyone. So I start by loving myself. And, Dax and I were having a conversation yesterday. And I'm going to bring that up with him on Friday. We were having a conversation about, not worrying about what people think of you, or what they think you should do, or whatever. And I said to him, truly, I truly don't worry about what people think of me. Whatever you want to think of me, most of the times it's a lie anyway. So if you want to think something of me, it's okay. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, because I love me. And I have taught my daughter to love herself. So if you figure you don't like me, or you have a beef with me, or you don't approve of something I'm doing or saying, that's okay. We must agree to disagree. So whatever I'm saying, you can do your own thing and say what you want to say. Even if you want to say it on my show, I don't care. It's okay. No haters. It's not about hating. It's about giving your opinion and your thoughts about something. Stand up for something. As a matter of fact, I think I have the number here for Congress, so that if you would like to call Congress about immigration, or tell them what your thoughts are on any issue at all, the number is 202-224-3121. And when you call, if it's busy, just keep trying. 202-224-3121. That's the number for Congress. So if you want to air your opinions about any issue, whether it's immigration, whether it's gay marriage, or whatever it is, you need to call Congress. Do something. Don't just live and exist in the world. Make a contribution to something. You must be passionate about something. And when you call, if the line is busy, keep calling. And when you call, you don't even have to know who your congressperson is or your senator. All you need to do is tell them where you live, give them your zip code, and they will tell you who the person is and put you through to that line. So don't be shy. Just call and do something. Stand up for your rights. Okay. You know, I think everybody's falling in love with Pope Francis I, like I am. Yes, it is true. On the Pope Francis, one bishop, cardinal, said this: simple is the new chic when you're dealing with Pope Francis I. Isn't that wonderful? Simple is the new chic. So just be simple. Live a simple life. Because he has decided, that's Pope Francis has decided, to stay for the time being in a simple Vatican residence instead of moving into the spacious and regal papal apartments. The Pope is living in the Domus Santa Martha, a modern hotel-style residence, not a bad digs, inside Vatican City, where he stayed during the conclave that elected him Pope on March 13th. So he's still at the same place. He doesn't want to go into the palatial apartment. And this is nothing new. He did the same thing in Argentina. He did not go into the palace. He chose to live in a humble apartment, cooked his own meals. So the papal apartments in the Apostolic Palace consist of more than a dozen rooms. No, I don't think he's going to go there. Too many rooms. A dozen rooms, as well as quarters for staff, and a terrace. Well, I think he might enjoy the terrace. But Pope Francis, you see, is trying to show you that he is a man, a pope of the poor. And of course, he's going to be washing feet this week at a boys' correction center. And he's also showing you he is a humble man and he's not pretending. He is there for the poor. Now, you know, I don't know if I would give up the luxuries for the simple apartment, but he is leading by example. So he doesn't want you to think that he's just talking and he's not doing. He is doing and showing you that simple is the new chic in the eyes of Pope Francis I. I love him. I love him. And I think a lot of people are falling in love with this Pope. He is going to be fantastic. I can tell. Seriously, I can tell. 20 minutes now to 9 o'clock, and we're coming up to the 9 o'clock hour. As we welcome you again to the Diana Wright Show Live, we thank you so much for joining us. And welcome to those of you joining me from around the world and in the United States. The internet is a powerful thing. So anyone from any part of this planet who has a computer can go on to my website, dianawrighttv.webs.com, watch the show, call into the show, love me on Facebook, tweet me, and all of that stuff. Who knew? Well, they used to laugh at Al Gore, you know, because he said he invented the internet. He didn't really say that. People just kind of twisted his words. But it is a fantastic thing. One of the things I want to talk to Dax about, because the internet is going, because today you have lots of people launching things on the internet, like Rick Scott, the governor of Florida. I'll soon get to him. He's in full campaign mode. But anyway, he thinks we're going to forget. We ain't going to forget Governor Rick Scott. Yeah, he says that the unemployment is the lowest it's been. Lowest meaning lower than the national average. So, anyway. You know, this is a very interesting story. It's funny. It's heartbreaking. It's just about whatever you want to put to it. And I think it's going to be one of my wow stories for this week, Friday. A baby born in England weighs 15 pounds, 7 ounces. Now, when I saw that first, I thought, no, they must have, they should have put 5 pounds instead of 15 pounds, 7 ounces. His name is George King. And he's not the biggest baby in England. He's the second biggest newborn born naturally in England. Parents Jade and Ryan are swapping out their, those little onesies that you buy for newborns. They're buying more mature outfits. Baby George head popped out and then got stuck when he was being delivered, leaving him, only sad part, oxygen deprived for about 5 minutes, and the doctors are giving him a 10% chance of survival. So we are out now. I'm asking you to pray for baby George. Send out your prayers and your well wishes, because tomorrow is Holy Thursday, then there's Good Friday. So I'm just begging you to pray for baby George in England, that he survives this and that he has no brain injury, brain damage, or anything like that. 15 pounds, 7 ounces. What is he going to be? A humongous person? Or his mother is going to have to watch his diet from he was born until whenever. Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. I see here that restaurants, when you go to the restaurant to eat, most of the big chains, they have nutrition information on the menu saying 500 calories, how much fat, how much sodium, that kind of thing. So I was kind of wondering if that was really true. But Consumer Report went out and actually did research with 12 restaurants, well-known restaurants and fast food chains, from Applebee's to Wendy's. They ordered 17 different items and tested them from the same item from 3 restaurants in that chain. Okay, so they went to 3 different restaurants in the same chain and ordered different items to see. And believe it or not, good news. There's good news for us. In most cases, the published information is correct. Because when I go to, say, Applebee's to eat, I always eat the chicken that they say is 500 calories. Lo and behold, it is true. So we are thankful for that. At least someone is speaking the truth these days. Okay, here's another mother story, baby story that I'm not sure it's funny. It's kind of sad, but women, we have to carry all the tired burden all the time. So anyway, I'll let you decide. Decision by a tired mom. I'm reading you a note that was left in the car on a newborn while the mother went shopping, okay? My mom, this is a note. My mom's in doing the shopping. Call her if I need anything. This is a note that was left on a sleeping newborn left in a locked car by a mother in New Zealand. A group of worried people gathered around the car and read the note, but they felt sorry for the mother, so they didn't call the cops. So instead of calling the authorities, the bystanders felt sorry for the mother and called her using the cell phone number that she left on the baby. Oh my goodness. One bystander said, as parents ourselves, we know it is hard to get a baby to sleep, and once you start moving them, they wake up. We thought it was just a silly mistake. Now, I don't know how you're feeling about that, but I can just imagine in the US, leaving a note with your newborn in the locked car and some people gather around. They're going to be calling the cops, okay? They're not going to feel sorry and call you on your cell phone. Because I'm trying to figure out, okay, the baby was locked in the car. They decide to call the mother's cell phone. Did they think the baby needs something? Or were they just calling her to say, we empathize, we sympathize with you. Please come and take the baby out the car. He's awake now. Oh, people do the craziest things. So next time you want to think of doing this happened in New Zealand, but don't try it in the US. I don't think it would be so nicely working out for you if you try it here. And by the end of 2013, if you are on a plane getting ready to take off, you may be hearing this. Please put your devices on airplane mode for takeoff. Instead of, please turn off your electronic devices for takeoff. The FAA has been under pressure to allow passengers to use reading devices that, like your little tablets during takeoff and landing. The change would not include cell phones now. Don't get happy. Cell phones are not included because I know lots of you will be ready to be calling everybody on your phone. But will include iPads and the Kindle. Are we so obsessed with our devices? You cannot put away your device for a little time on a flight? I'm not so cool with that. And the FAA, they need to get their act together. The TSA is doing some crazy things, talking about they're going to put knives back on the plane. I don't want to be flying with no crazy person with a knife in his back pocket. What about that man who slapped that baby the other day? What, can you imagine if he had a knife, what he might do? Whew. Why don't they get to the thing that we all are so sick and tired of, taking off our shoes and our jacket and our hats? I have nothing under my hat, nothing in my shoe, nothing under my jacket. So the next time I travel, I'm going to just wear my bandolo under my jacket and see if he's going to want me to take it off. Yeah. Just want to test the system a little bit. Because it seems to me that it's quite nonsensical to see a woman have on a jacket and a very skimpy undershirt or whatever. And then you want her to take off her jacket in the airport? Absolutely not. But I've refused all the time. Then they give me this pat down thing. Then if I wear a clip in my hair, they take the clip and they, use that little thing and go. What on earth is in a clip for your hair? And yet they're going to allow you to take knives on the plane? I don't care what the size of the knife is, it can still cause damage. So what is the deal with this TSA thing? Who is at the wheel there? Some crazy person or what? Well, I see that the flight attendants are fighting this. And I hope they win. That this rule is taken away so we can then focus on, why do I need to take off my shoes at the airport? Why do I need to take my hat off and my jacket? I hardly think that I will have anything under my hat. Because how will it stay, whatever you have in your hat, how does it stay up there? Wow, whatever. Anyway, a 12-year-old boy, Ethan Bortnick, the youngest tour headliner in history. He has raised $30 million for charity. Ethan is a piano prodigy and he can play anything. He takes charity very seriously. $30 million? He's only 12 and he's raised that much money? Well, Save a Life Jamaica Foundation, you better start raising some money because the 12-year-old is earning and raising $12 million, okay? So we better start getting serious about saving a life. So Save a Life Jamaica Foundation is the foundation I'm involved with. Novelet Gale is the president. And come October 5, they will be having a fantastic function to raise money. Only $20 a pop. And you can contribute if you can come to the event. We'll tell you more about the event as we get closer to the time. We want it to be, like a surprise kind of thing. Yeah? So we're going to ask you to donate $20 if you can come to the event by going to the website of Save a Life Jamaica Foundation and donate that money, that $20 if you can't make the occasion. But the occasion will be October 5th And it will be, promises to be a fantastic affair. Just trust me on that one. Okay. And of course, I'm sure you've all heard about the 17-year-old from England who sold his app. Was it called Sumly? Summarizing the news for $30 million. He sold it to Yahoo. So he's now employed by Yahoo. I'm not quite sure how they're going to manage with that commute thing because he's in England and Yahoo is here. So is the CEO going to ask him to come to work and sit at the table at Yahoo here in the US? We'll see how she ponders out that one. And there's a 17-year-old filmmaker called Jordan Coleman. He started making films at 12 years old. He wanted to make films instead of trying to be what everyone else wanted to be, which is everybody wants to be like Kobe Bryant, Jay-Z, Puff Daddy. He chose to be a filmmaker at 12. Now you tell me, man, this is fantastic as I celebrate those 3 young people in my Young Power segment. I would like to know, are there any young persons out there that would like to be celebrated on this show in our Young Power segment? Because those 3 young people are just impressive. And they all started when they were 12. Well, the young man who did the app, Nick started from he was like doing computer things, his mom said, from he was like 4 or 5. These kids are born geniuses. So your children can be successful. You just have to encourage them. Because the mother said she went out and she bought the things that he said he wanted and watched him. The piano prodigy, he asked for a piano. His mom kind of watched him play someone else's piano for a while. Then she went and bought him the piano because she realized that he could play. So you have to nurture the talent that your children have. And don't try to get your children to do what you want them to do. Let them find their own passion and their own dreams and pursue it. You are there to guide them to get to the place, but you're not there to tell them what you would like them to be. Everyone should have the opportunity to pick what they want to do. All right? So, once again, welcome to the Diana Wright Show live online and from around the world and in the United States, wherever you are on the planet. We welcome you and we thank you and remind you that come April 30th, it's International I Love Me Day, created and declared by this show, the Diana Wright Show, because my intention is to get each and every one of you to love yourselves, teach your children to love themselves, and celebrate it on April 30th, International I Love Me Day, just a little extra on that day. But I ask you to love yourself every day, every moment. When you're feeling a little blue, just look in the mirror or look in your cell phone. Becomes a mirror when it's off. And talk to yourself. Don't worry about the people who think you're crazy. Just talk to yourself and say, I love me. It's good. It's a good thing. Okay. All right. Our governor of Florida, Mr. Rick Scott, I see is in full campaign mode. He launched his first campaign ad on television. Not on television. What am I talking about? No, he did it online on the internet. So Governor Scott, I hear him talking about, how many jobs he's created and the unemployment figure is lower than the national figure and all of that. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. And he's going to increase the salaries of teachers and this and that. Okay. He's running for governor re-election 2014. So, he also did this, which I thought was quite brave and a good thing. Florida Governor Rick Scott has waded into a religious-infused campus controversy. And I know once you hear this story, you will be outraged too, because I was quite outraged when I saw it today. But remember, I told Dax that I will calm down, be patient, breathe, and relax. Asking the State University System Chancellor to look into a classroom lesson at Florida Atlantic University, in which students were instructed to stomp on sheets of paper that had Jesus written on them. Scott said in a letter Tuesday to State University System Chancellor Frank Brogan that he was deeply disappointed by the recent incident in an intercultural communications class and said it raised questions about the lessons being taught in our classrooms. He said he wanted a report on the incident and how it was handled, as well as a statement of the university's policies to ensure such lessons do not occur again. As we enter the week, this is him still talking, Governor Scott, as we enter the week memorializing the events of Christ's Passion, this incident gave me great concern over the lessons we are teaching our students. An FAU spokeswoman told NBC6, that's one of our local channels, that the university received Scott's letter and appreciated his perspective. Florida Atlantic University is deeply sorry, they say, for any hurt that this incident may have caused the community and beyond. This was said by Lisa Metcalf, the school's director of media relations, in an email. Okay. As an institution of higher learning, we embrace open discourse in our classrooms. But with that comes a level of responsibility. The exercise was insensitive and hurtful. It will not be used again. She added that lessons learned from the incident will help us ensure our educational opportunities always reflect the university's core values. Governor Scott cited news reports indicating students were told by the class instructor, professor, whatever you call him, to write Jesus in large letters on a sheet of paper and to place the paper on the floor in front of them. The students were given a brief time of reflection and then were told to step on the paper and tell the class how they felt. Now, what is the point of that exercise? I just think it's ludicrous. The exercise has outraged religious leaders such as the Reverend Mark Boykin, who plans to lead a march from his Boca Raton church to FAU to condemn the assignment next week. We find this to be unconscionable, completely unprofessional, and unacceptable. That was what the Reverend Mark Boykin said. At least one student found it so unacceptable that he refused to participate in the class. Ryan Rotella, and we give you high praise, Ryan, a devout Mormon and a junior at FAU's Davie campus, claims he was punished for doing so. So he did not participate and he was punished. So his lawyer, Hiram Sasser, shared the notice of charges that Rotella received from FAU for violating the student code of conduct. You are requested to attend a student conference, the notice said. In the interim, you may not attend class. And I guess this is their number that it is in their code, SPC 3710, or contact any of the students involved in this matter verbally or electronically, or by any other means. Now, Dr. Charles Brown, FAU's Senior Vice President of Student Affairs, said that Rotella was never up for punishment for refusing to participate in the exercise. How so? So why did the young man go and get an attorney? We apologize, he said, to all our students and the community and people beyond the community who felt it was too sensitive. It was too sensitive? Scott applauded Rotella. That is Governor Scott, whom he spoke with on Tuesday for having the courage to stand up for his faith. I told him that it took great conviction and bravery to stand up and say what he was asked to do was wrong and went against what he believed in. Scott said in a statement. Sasser said that Rotella is again in good standing with the university. He has re-enrolled in the class, but one that is being taught by a different professor. Now, I don't know how much people are ready to push the envelope, But to write Jesus in bold, big letters on a piece of paper and then stomp on it and tell how you feel, what does that really do? What exactly does that do? Seriously, I'd truly like to know. What does that truly do? Interesting. Okay, I see that Prince William is about to be unemployed. Even Prince William can be outsourced, you see. But I'll get into that tomorrow morning. And my special guest will be Elder Seaton for the 10:30 a.m. hour. He will join us to give us an update on the March on Washington and also what's going on with immigration. I'll probably ask him a few religious things too and about this whole Jesus thing. I just think it's disgusting for a university professor to give such an exercise. I don't care how much culture you're trying to, discuss or talk about or demonstrate. Stomping on Jesus' name? How does that do anything? What is that doing? What is that supposed to say? I would love to hear some of the comments from the students who participated. What do they feel when they finished? And tomorrow evening for the 8 o'clock hour, we will have attorney Evan Rosen. He's a real estate attorney, and we will talk about the whole gamut of things. So we're going to try to have him here once a month because the foreclosure things are changing fast in Tallahassee, and he has all the goods for us. So we'll join him tomorrow. So I have two wonderful guests tomorrow, and then Friday, Dax Dunn joins me again for the wow and big stories of the week. Oh, wow. Just reminding you that if you miss a show, you just need to go to my website, dianawrighttv.webs.com. Go to the bottom of the page. You'll see the YouTube icon. Click on that, and it takes you to all the shows that you've missed. So we invite you to do so. We invite you to love us on Facebook, give us a thumbs up, and tweet us. Also, send us an email and let us know what you're thinking, what you'd like us to change, what you'd like us to do, any guests that you can recommend. If it's someone that is an author and like us to interview them after I've read their book, then that's wonderful too. For that, you can also give me a call at 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. And of course, Evan Rosen, the attorney, the real estate attorney, will be on Skype. So you will have the phone line will be free for you to speak with him and ask your questions. All right. So we hope you have lots of questions for tomorrow evening, and we hope you will be tuned in at 10:30 for Elder Seaton, just to talk about immigration and some other religious things I'm going to ask him about. And we'll have a good show as we normally do. Thank you once again for joining us. And don't forget, April 30th, I Love Me, International I Love Me Day. It's going to be just as big as Valentine's Day, where you will find yourself going out and buying all kind of trinkets that I'm planning to make that says I love me. Started with the t-shirts, and they're on my website. You can go on there and purchase. And it simply says, I love me. Male and female. And for the men, if you just want us to say, love me, that's cool too. So let us know. All right? Give us a call and let us know. Go online, send us a message, tweet us, whatever you want to do. But get involved. Join the conversation right here on the Diana Wright Show, live online. Thank you so much for joining me. We've come to the end of the hour. And so we say to you, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. So I just want to say au revoir, ciao, adios, and good evening to all of you here in the United States and my English-speaking viewers. Ciao. Have a good evening. Stay prayed up now. Mm-hmm.